रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पतये नमः. Uttarakhand, chapter number 29. Ravana with the damsels and with his sister Surpanakha. The recitation begins now. While thus returning, the vicious soul Ravana with delight carried away stealthily on his way the daughters of the royal saints, celestials and Dandavas. And whatever beautiful damsel he saw, married or unmarried, the demon held them captive in his car, having slain all their friends and relatives. In this way, he got on his chariot many a female of the Naga, Rakshasa, Asura, Yaksha, Danava, and of men. And they, all afflicted, shed tears hot as fiery flames, caused by fear and fire of grief. As the ocean is filled with the currents of the river, so that the car was flooded with their tears, originating from fear and sorrow. And wept there in the chariot hundreds of the females of the Nagas, Gandharvas, of the great ascetics, Daityas, and of Dandavas. They had long airs, graceful persons, countenances resembling the full moon, rising breast, slender waist like that of a black bee. They were graceful with a back like the pole of a car. They were like the females of the celestials and the burning gold, and all were afflicted with grief and sorrow and terror, and they were so young. And the car was ablaze on all sides with the signs of those damsels, and the Pushpaka looked like the chamber where the fire is kept perpetually. The countenance and eyes of those beautiful damsels, brought under the subjection of the ten-necked demon and afflicted with sorrow, looked poorly like a hind attacked by a lion. Some thought, "Will he eat me up?" And another, stricken with sorrow, thought, "Will he destroy me?" And thus, remembering their husbands, fathers, mothers, brothers, and all those females, overwhelmed with grief and sorrow, bewailed, some exclaiming, "What shall befall my son in my absence? Alas, into what ocean of grief my father and brother are sunk! Alas, what will my mother say? What will happen to my husband in my absence? Therefore, O Lord, I propitiate thee, do thou take me who am subject to miseries. Alas, what iniquity did I perpetrate in my former birth in another body? Therefore we all, overwhelmed with grief, are sunk in the ocean of sorrow, and I do not behold the end of my miseries. O fie upon humanity! There is none more vile than a man, for they are weak. As the stars disappear with the rising of the sun in time, so our husbands have been destroyed by this powerful Ravana. Oh, this highly powerful Rakshasa is mad after devising the means of destruction. Alas, being engaged in such vile actions, he does not consider himself cursed. He is as powerful as he is vicious. And though the ravishment of another's wife is a great sin, still that vile Rakshasa is enjoying us who belong to others. Therefore this vicious-minded one shall meet with death by his own actions. As soon as those words were uttered by those chaste damsels, bugles were sounded in heaven, and flowery showers fell on earth. Being thus imprecated by those chaste females devoted to their husbands, he became shorn of energy and effulgence, and appeared like one divested of mind. Hearing their lamentations thus, and being honored by the night rangers, that foremost of Rakshasas entered his city Lanka. In the interval, Ravana's sister, a dreadful and grim-visaged she-demon, suddenly fell on the ground. And having raised up his sister and consoled her, Ravana said, "Tell me speedily, O good sister, what you wish to say." Thereat the she-demon, having blood-red eyes closed with tears, said, "O king, you are powerful, and you have made me into a widow. 14,000 demons under the name of Kalakeyas have been destroyed by thee, O king, in the battle, and amongst them was my highly powerful husband, dearer than my own life. He has been slain by thee, O dear one, an enemy, a brother only in name. I have been killed by thee, O king, who art my brother. For thee, O king, I shall enjoy the word widow. My beloved husband should have been saved by thee in the battle, but he was slain by thy own self in the battle. Art thou not ashamed of this? Being thus addressed by his bewailing sister, Dashagriva, consoling her in sweet words, said, Of no avail is thy lamentation, dear sister. Thou needst not be afraid of any of thy relatives. I shall please thee studiously by gifts and honors and favors. Being mad after warfare and desirous of acquiring victory, I was continuously making a downpour of arrows and could not distinguish in the conflict between my own men and enemies, and thus unwittingly I did hurt thy husband. And thus, sister, the husband was slain by me in the conflict. I shall now do whatever shall conduce to thy well-being. Do thou ever reside by the side of thy rich brother Khara and Dushana, and he will be the lord of 14,000 Rakshasas. That highly powerful one shall give food and clothes to all those Rakshasas. He is thy cousin, and that night ranger shall always carry out thy orders. Let that hero now speedily go to protect the Dandaka forest. The highly powerful Dushan will be the commander of his forces, and the heroic Kara will always obey thy words and be the lord of Rakshasas, assuming shapes at will. Having said this, Dashgriva issued orders to his army, 14,000 highly powerful Rakshasas. Being encircled by those grim-visaged Rakshasas, Khara, undaunted, speedily came to the Dandaka forest. There he governed without thorns, and Surpanakha too also resided in the forest of Dandaka. Mangalam Koshalendraya Mahaniya Gunapte Chakravarti Dhanurjaya Sarva Bhaumaya Mangalam.